Just over 1 year to the day, Baltimore City leaders making this announcement.
Our detectives today arrested 28-year-old Garrick Powell for the killing of Mr. Barksdale.
Now, Powell is facing a jury here at the Baltimore City Circuit Courthouse, listening to prosecutors and witnesses talk about the murder of Safe Streets worker Dante Barksdale.
This man was extraordinary with the work that he'd done, and then he lost his life trying to do with what's best for the city.
Prosecutors argue Powell was found with a gun used with Barksdale's murder during a traffic stop in Anne Arundel County weeks after the shooting at Douglas Homes, telling the jury there was a gun found with Powell matching the ballistics found at the scene, adding, quote, "That's the evidence in the case. That's enough to convict Mr. Powell." Powell's defense attorney says there were 3 other people in the car and the DNA evidence found on the weapon was never tested, telling the jury during opening statements, quote, "If the detective is honest, guns transfer hands in Baltimore City like a hot potato." While this case continues, it's not the first time Powell has faced criminal charges. Powell had removed his ankle monitor after a gun charge in Anne Arundel County. In 2012, court records show he was charged with murder, but later cleared. Powell also sentenced to jail time for violating probation and witness intimidation, a ruling later overturned. A repeat violent offender back on the streets, an issue Baltimore City is familiar with. Mayor Brandon Scott arguing at the time of Powell's arrest, it's why he was pushing for more state coordination.
This is what we were talking about when we're talking about coordination. This is why I had that meeting with the governor about coordinating our public safety agencies.
But since then, the issue of repeat violent offenders and judicial transparency coming to the forefront for lawmakers in Annapolis. Backed by Governor Larry Hogan, the bills would crack down on repeat gun offenders, implementing stricter penalties, plus producing a report card for judges, shining light on what happened in courtrooms across the state for sentencing of suspects. But neither bill got through the General Assembly as introduced. Instead, sentencing data will be published by jurisdiction rather than by judge. Meantime, repeat violent offenders continue to be a concern.
Where's the public safety component?
And Powell, the latest example, raising questions about what's being done.
How do you release this guy to his own recognizance in 2020? This guy Powell should not have been on the street. Right. Period.
To keep people in the community safe.
After starting his testimony, the lead Baltimore homicide detective will likely be back on the stand tomorrow morning when court resumes at 9 o'clock. Outside the courthouse, Mackenzie Frost, Fox 45 News.